This is how I made a miniature park. So first I take this base and I add grass on top of it by basically using thread mix. So I use this yellow thread mix and also a green one with yellow bits in it, and I color it with watercolor, which I will continue to do to make it even more green. I basically made the base using 2 circular cardboard pieces, and this is the watercolor that I use. It's very basic and it's a bit time taking, but the results speak for itself. Anyway, like I was saying, I used 2 pieces of cardboard for the base, which I made 2 circles out of, and I glued them together. Then for sticking the thread mix on top, I used double-sided tape and a bit of glue. So now this is the time lapse of me painting the base to make it green. So now I'm going to be making the fence, and for this I've used toothpicks. So I didn't use the entire toothpick, I did cut a bit off, as you can see here that I took approximately how much it should be according to the size of the base, because this is miniature, and I cut up the toothpick into little pieces. I did save the pieces because I did need a few of them later, but I don't think you need to. I just broke them off, but I then trimmed the edges to make them a little bit more smooth. And here are the pieces that I cut. And basically, I'll be showing you how I glue them with my hot glue gun. And remember, the hot glue gun is dangerous, and using hot glue should only be when you're supervised or if you're old enough to use it by yourself. So be careful while you're crafting. Anyway, I'm gluing the toothpicks to the base, as you will see here in this and the time lapse up ahead. This is the final result of the fence, well, only the poles. So now I'm going to be using a rope kind of thread, which basically, like the name suggests, it looks like a rope, which I'll be wrapping around the fence poles. And it is going to seem a bit more like a farm than a garden or a park, especially with this rope. And it isn't a classic white fence, but it will be worth it in the end, and it does give a bit of an earthy vibe to it. So here I will be using the hot glue gun to attach the rope kind of thread to it, and here I have attached it. And now I'm just cutting off the excess so that we are done with the fence. So this is the fence and this is the base. Okay, so what next? Well, we will add a few more things coming up, but first we're going to add water. So it's supposed to be a pond or a lake, and it could have final touches according to you, like lily pads or tiny little creatures, but here I'm going to be making a water body. So to do this, I'm also doing it in the place that my finger is there. I'm going to be using a hot glue gun, a piece of cardstock, which is blue because water seems blue, and I'm going to need a bit of white paint to add some touches. So first I'm using the base as a reference so that I can draw it out with the pencil, like you'll see in the time lapse, and I'm going to use the glue gun and trace over it too, like you see here. And then I'm going to fill the entire thing in with the glue gun, as you are going to see now. Then then you have to wait until it's dry and I will glue it onto the base. It is going to be a bit flimsy though, and floppy. As you can see, I have cut it out after it dried and it does look a bit more like water. So like I said, it's a bit flimsy, but I'll use a glue gun, and there is another thing I'll add to it later to make it stay a bit more well placed and not that flimsy and kind of out of place and in the air. So right now I glued it, and basically I'm going to be adding white acrylic paint onto this to add some touches. So I am doing this very randomly. I am going to smudge it with my fingers as well. This is a bit messy, but I feel like the final result in the end is a bit worth it. It isn't exactly realistic, but it does seem very nice. Okay, now what's a park without some greenery? So I'm going to show you how I made these miniature trees with toothpicks and paper. So what I did essentially was, okay, but first I'm going to cover the entire area near the fence like I was trying to show until voice over me got interrupted. Anyway, so I'm using this green paper, which is basic color paper, and I'm going to fold a small segment of it in half. What I'm going to do after that is cut the entire thing, not in half, the entire thing that still has the fold. And then I'm going to cut tiny strips along it using scissors, almost all the way but not all the way, so I don't cut them completely into tiny squares. So it'll look something like a strip that I'm about to show you. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to wrap it around the toothpick. See, this is the strip and I don't cut it all the way. Some of them are a bit uneven, but that's fine because the trees are supposed to look a bit more natural. So this tree, the tree that we're going to cover within all of this, will bring some color and interesting features to the garden or park. So basically I'm going to show you how I wrap it around this toothpick, and I made several of these to cover the entire area. So here I've made a handful of trees, which I'm going to cover the entire area with, and I'm going to glue them onto the base. So here it does show me gluing the stick onto the base, but later they kept on bending and falling off. So you need to put a bit of a pile of glue below on the base itself and stick it on, and then it won't move that much. so this is what the park looks like with all the trees around it, and now I'm going to be using fake flowers or just fake plants in general. You can buy any basic things on Amazon or make your own bushes with paper, but I prefer to use these. And basically I'm going to cut bits of them, bundle them together, and then glue them to the base to make these nice bushes and add some nice color to the park instead of just basic green. Of course, this also has green, but this is what all the greenery looks like in the park. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add other touches, like in this case we're gonna make rocks with clay. So I would suggest use air dry clay, but because I only had modeling clay, I used modeling clay, and I used black and white modeling clay and mixed them together. So some of the rocks that you're going to see now have a bit of an abstract design because they are not completely mixed properly, but you can make the rocks around it any way you want. So adding the rocks to this won't make the pond or lake look less flimsy on the surface because we use glue gun. And this is what it looks like on top of it. It looks much better now. It looks well balanced and it doesn't look very out of place. I feel like it also kind of resembles a well. So this is what the park should be looking like now. Okay. Now you can just stop at this point, but I have a few more things I want to add, like a bench. So for this, I'm using skewers, and also we might need skewers later. You could also use it for the fence. Toothpicks or skewers both work. Skewers are a bit thicker. So basically what I did is that I cut some pieces of them, I glued them, I did a layer of glue on top to make it kind of smooth. The bench is a bit more rustic in the end, but it does fit the vibe of the garden. So basically I just cut the pieces and estimate how much would go where. And I made legs a bit smaller than that, not exactly half, but maybe like 1/4 of it. So the bench looks like this. In the end, I do end up adding a bit more color to it. I did paint it with acrylic paint, so it has a nice layering, as you can see. And now I covered this area with a ribbon, like that's beigeish brownish color, so that it doesn't look too messy and it's all nice and tidied up in one place. So actually, if you are more advanced, you would use a lighter so that all the excess bit of the ribbon which is coming out, which is kind of like fur, you can just use a lighter and you won't have those bits anymore. But I did not, because I don't think a lighter is a requirement and it looks fine. So now I did point at this because I tried adding tadpoles first, but it didn't turn out quite as right. And now what I'm doing is I'm making an archway. So I'm using a piece of wire and 2 of the skewers from earlier. You could also use toothpicks again at full height. And yes, they are taller than the trees, but technically that isn't impossible in reality. So what I've done is that I've covered it with colored paper and then covered it with ribbon to make this nice thick archway. And I've used the hot glue gun to glue it onto the base. So that's enough of me yapping. Here are the final results for the park. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Thanks for watching and happy crafting!